Good morning, Beachbody coaches. Nicole and I decided to hop on here today now that I am done throwing up at soccer games and stuff, and just go through any questions that you guys have. I've been getting some questions. Nicole's been getting some questions. So we figured they were good questions to kind of cover with everybody. So go ahead and feel free to say hi when you hop on. Pop your questions in the chat. We're using the Be Live app, so it may not give us your name when it pops up, just like a Facebook security thing. But I do have you guys open over in the group, so I might be able to see you guys. I see that Gina's here. Good morning. Good morning. We just kind of really wanted to touch base too with you guys and let you know, like, having been Beachbody coaches, having, both being business owners in an online space and coaches, how using, things like branding, automation, especially automation. I swear I like to think that automation was my very first virtual assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of want to hash all that out with you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type them in here. If you're popping on the replay, type in replay with your question, and we'll be checking this thread through tomorrow. We wanted to do that because the price on Nicole's automation series is going up tomorrow night at midnight. So we wanted to make sure that you guys weren't dilly-dallying because you had a question that went unanswered. And then you're like, oh, shit, it's 50%, or, the price is doubled now. Because when I was working with Nicole on this, I asked her specifically, can you please give these girls, like, at least a little bit of, a break, at least for a certain period of time, because Nicole does sell this program to her other clients for double what she's offering it to you guys for. So she definitely did that as a favor to help everybody out. So I want to make sure you guys take full advantage of that because it's super generous and super awesome. So Nicole, can you give us well, first of all, good morning. I'm like,
good morning.
Can you give us a little bit? I know you have like a checklist of things, of questions that have come in and just different things. I'm going to kind of let you drive.
Sure, that sounds great.
And I'm going to drink coffee and hopefully keep this headache I've got.
And keep it down versus yesterday. And if you could just see if there's questions that are coming through, Amie, because I don't have the group open to see them. So
yep, you got it.
Just interject. But yeah, guys, thanks for having me again today, Amie. And like Amie said, we wanted to do did you drop a link to the actual All About Automation workshop?
No,
somewhere? Okay.
But I will.
We will do that. Because I know not all of you guys will be able to hang out with Amie and I. We could literally be on here all day because I just love and adore her. As she said, we were both Beachbody coaches previously, so we know exactly where you guys are and the struggle. And like Amie said, I wanted to make this super affordable because it was hard for me when I first started to invest $100 into my business. And I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, well, that's X amount of challenge packs or Shakeology or whatever. And that's why we decided to make it such an amazing price to get you guys started, knowing that this is sort of the gateway to having that first VA, to really stepping up and growing your business. So that's why we decided to do it. It's going to be ending tomorrow. But we got a bunch of questions. So I'll go through some of these just to make sure we have everything 100% addressed. You guys know exactly what you're going to be getting. You've worked with Amie before, but you guys haven't worked with me. So this is how it's kind of going to run, how it's going to happen, what you're going to see. Amie has the link somewhere. And so you can see. Okay, awesome. So you can see exactly everything that's going to be included, but I'll kind of walk you through what my vision was. So a lot of times you hear the words automation and sales funnels and opt-ins and landing pages and all of this stuff. And I remember when I first started, I was like, what are all these things? I don't understand. How do they all work together? Do I actually need them? So that's where we're really going to start. You guys will actually get the bundle, a bonus bundle, which is my tech blueprint that walks you through the descriptions of all of those. And it even gives you a little bit of a space that you can figure out what you would do for your specific business. So I know a lot of you guys are Beachbody coaches. Well, what would you do for a lead magnet? What kind of freebie could you offer to get people in? Maybe it's a free challenge. Maybe it's a healthy eating menu, different options. And then how do you take those people and transition them into paying clients? Because that's what we want, right? We want to attract people with amazing branding, amazing photos, sharing your story, doing all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, you want money in your bank account, right? You want people on your team who are going to be working on your team. You want consistent clients, all of those things. So we're going to work through exactly how you do that, what that would look like for your specific business. And if you're not a Beachbody coach, the same process applies. If you're with doTERRA, you're with Monet, you're with your own independent coaching business, all of these pieces and structures are the same. So we'll walk through that first. You know what the lingo is, what you need, why you need it. One of the other things that I had too when I first started in Amie, I'm not sure if you felt the same way, but the expense, right? Like investing in another thing. Because you're probably sitting there, because these are the questions I had, I promise. I was like, okay, sure, I'm going to pay for this workshop. And then how much is the platform's actually going to cost? What is my ongoing investment every single month? So we're going to be talking about how you can do it for literally $9 a month. Guys, $9 a month. If you don't have that to invest in your business, we got to talk about other things first. But it's a really good return on your investment. For your time, you'll work smarter versus harder. I know that's kind of like a catchy phrase, but legitimately, it's true. I woke up this morning, one of you guys had registered for the course since I went to bed last night, and I had a payment come in to my account. So I didn't do anything while I was sleeping. I was literally sleeping and woke up to a payment. You guys can see that too. And we're going to walk you through how you can do that, how you can have it set up so that you can see those payments come through every single day, every single week, growing your team, growing your business. All right. So the workshop, it's going to be on the 22nd. So that's next Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All of the details are in the link that Amie has posted for you guys. The way it's going to work, somebody asked the question, how long is it going to be? Well, I don't really know. It's going to probably be at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, probably 2 hours. But I commit to you guys, if you have questions, you have things that you don't feel covered with as far as the topics of what platform to use, why to use them, what funnels you would do in your business, or you have specific questions that just don't make sense, or you're not clear, or you want me to explain it again, I commit to you guys that Amie and I will be on there as long as it takes so you feel 100% supported. Yep. And I know because you don't want to go to a workshop and leave with questions, right? No. That defeats the entire purpose.
And we've done that. Nicole and I have been through workshops together.
Yes.
Wait, what just happened? Like, I thought we were going to learn this and that. And I'm still unclear.
Mm-hmm. And then I know that there's going to be questions that you guys have because you go through something and you're not 100% sure at the time, or you are like, oh, what did Nicole say on that again? Or why did Amie say this? You guys will have access to the recording, okay? Because you're going to, here's what I envision for you guys. You're going to come to the workshop. You're going to do the pre-work. That's that tech blueprint. So you're not going to have all these terms thrown at you and just be overwhelmed, because nobody wants that. You're going to come in, feel prepared. We'll go through all of the topics, all of the content, all of the amazing things, like what automations you need, what pieces, how to spend your money wisely, what I would do, what I wouldn't do now, knowing what I know now versus then. And make sure you guys are set up for success. But you'll have access to go back and listen again, because you're going to take some of the things, you're going to implement them. That's the whole intention, right? You come, you learn, you go and you implement. Then there's going to be those follow-up questions and those things that pop up. You're like, what was that piece again? Or I'm kind of stuck here. So we're going to give you a copy of the recording that you guys will have lifetime access to the blueprint. And Amie and I were just talking before we got on here. And Amie, do you want to share what we're going to give them as a little extra bonus as well?
Take it away. Go ahead.
Okay. What we're going to do is give you guys a recording that Amie's actually done all about using one of the platforms we're going to recommend. And totally free. Like, we're not saying you guys have to use this, but there's two options you can use as far as email service providers. The one that we prefer, you guys will be able to go through and have a training on exactly how to implement everything, the way to set up a list, the way to set up an automation. So it's literally, you guys can, this is how I've done training videos before when I've been in your shoes, is I will open up the platform, open up the video, watch the video, do step 1, do step 2, pause the video, go back. So you guys will have that. So you can come to the workshop, listen, and then you'll be able to go and do all of the stuff that we talk about in the workshop. So this is full on implementation. You guys will walk away with knowing what the funnels you need to do, how to do it, the platforms to use. Literally, there will be no questions left unanswered. So like I said, hour and a half, 2 hours, give or take, but more if you need it, okay? What were some of the other questions? I think we talked about what we can expect. If there's any other questions on that, I think.
Well, one thing I think that came through for me is like, well, why are you doing it in like one day instead of spreading it out over 2 weeks or whatever? And
that's a good question.
I think the reason for that is because like in the past, I know like for me, and this was my input on how long a course should be, is because I felt like, okay, because I'm a doer, right? Like if my coach tells me, Amie, you need to go do these things, it's like, okay, as soon as my kid's taking a nap or as soon as the next opportunity comes up, which is like in the same day, I do it. Like I go and implement those steps. So for me, having half of the information in 1 week and then waiting an entire week to get the other half of the information, it's basically like torture for me. So I figured we would just hash it out. And if it takes you a week to get through that first half of the information, no big deal. But we want you to have the second half of information available. So, you know, instead of doing 2 1-hour videos in over 2 weeks, we're just going to give it to you all in one day. And then you can take whatever time you need to work on it and get those things implemented. So we're not holding you up, because I know so many of you guys out there are doers and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. And then you're get into it and you're going to be like, oh shit, I don't know what to do next because I have to wait until next week. And then you're going to be pissed off. So that's kind of partly why we decided to do it in this workshop kind of fashion. So that way you leave, like Nicole said, with everything you need to get started. And then you implement that at your pace, not at a pace that we're predetermining for you.
Yeah, and to try and keep it cost effective as well. Yeah. We don't want to extend it over weeks and we want you guys to hit the ground running. To be totally honest, I'm actually in the process of putting together an entire course, walking people through step 1, step 2, step 3, but it's going to be like 10 times the investment that you guys are looking at. So if anything, you guys are getting amazing gold, incredible content that you can start implementing right away for a fraction of the price to do a full-on course. Oh my God. Yes.
I'm just saying I say that it's less than a challenge pack because think about how frustrated you get when somebody says, I can't afford $140, I can't afford $160. And you're like, but you're investing into your health, you're investing into yourself, you're investing into your well-being. That's kind of the same thing as, here is like we made it affordable. We made it less than a challenge pack on purpose so that it's a no-brainer, so that it's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to take that next step. I'm ready to move forward. And now I actually don't have any excuses because this is actually less than what I'm expecting my clients to pay to get started.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that you can easily teach to your downline, even if you don't have a downline yet, you can teach the team that because that's the whole intention of this business, right? To build a team, to build that income, you can teach them. You can step up and be that leader that maybe you don't have, or you want to break up from your upline and do your own thing and step in, because I know that's how I was. I loved my upline, but I wanted to be my own coach, run things my way. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was a coach, I was in a full-time career. So working a 9 to 5, trying to do everything.
Oh, yeah.
2 little kids. I think my kids were 1 and 3. I can't remember now. When I first started, and like, it was hard to try and fit it all in. So Amie was kind of joking about the whole hiring your VA. That's essentially what automation is. And don't let the word automation scare you, because it's really not scary. It's really not. It's as simple. Like if you can pre-schedule a post using Hootsuite or something like that.
Even Facebook.
If you can navigate Facebook and send messages, you can do the automation that we're talking about. Because people have been asking me like, well, I'm not super tech savvy. I'm not really sure if I can do this. Can I grasp the concepts? That's why we're doing the workshop where it's live. You can ask questions. That's why you're going to have the how-to tutorials afterwards as well to navigate one of our preferred platforms that you'll hear me go into detail as to why I love it so much and why I picked it compared to others that are on the market, price and functionality. Know that, you guys have a budget to work within. So what are some of the other questions?
Well, even if you don't have a budget, like a budgetary restraint, why pay extra if you don't actually have to?
Totally. That's exactly. That's so true. And that's exactly why I always get into these types of programs and courses when there's the bonuses, when the pricing is lower, because I don't want to pay more. I'm a savvy consumer, right? Amie is too. It's not a matter of not spending the money, but spending your money wisely on the right things that will give you what you need. Because you guys, like Amie and I were chatting the other day, and we were saying, like, we've invested thousands of dollars. Thousands.
So tens
of thousands of dollars to learn literally what she shows up and is sharing and teaching you guys every single day. And then what you're going to get in this workshop as well. Like if you went out into the market and you were looking for a course, well, one, I don't know of anybody who's specifically doing this type of email automation for Beachbody coaches. It's such a niche. Even for MLM, I don't think, or anybody in direct sales, there's a bunch for online entrepreneurs, but you guys are such a specialty niche. So why wouldn't you want to work with people who understand your lingo, understand your goals, know what it is you're trying to do, can actually speak the language that you guys speak and put it into terms that are going to work for your ideal clients? Because guys, listen, we are probably your ideal clients. So I can put the copy together and give you, well, if you want to recruit this kind of person onto your team, this is what you would do. If you want to upsell from Clean Week, then this is what I would do. Like, you guys are going to get real life examples from women who've been in your shoes and who know the business. You will not get this type of workshop anywhere. And
never again for this price. Like,
no.
Let's be very clear about that. That I know that, like I said, I asked Nicole to please do this for this group of girls. And she was like, yeah, I'll totally do it. But it's like a one-time deal. So I just want to be very, very clear that even if she comes back in 3 months and offers this again, it will not be at this low price. But one thing that really, for me, where I was like, yeah, Nicole, I want to get you in there, because the thing that I didn't set up, like a video training. I didn't set up like a YouTube channel. I didn't really get into the whole like onboarding group. I actually did this with my team. And when I left Beachbody, I had like 28 coaches in my downline. Like, that was a good amount. So for me, I'm like, all right, I have a full-time job. I have this, I have that. I have all these things. I actually set up all of this stuff in an email sequence. So you got all the training. Like, I just grabbed a lot of the stuff from the back office at that point in time, and I put it into like a 28-day training. So for me, this speaks directly to me, because for $9 a month, I was like, yeah, I can totally do that. Especially because I had at least $9 a month coming. Well, I had quite a bit more than $9 a month coming in from the Beachbody business, but it was a no-brainer. Yeah, it was a little bit of work up front to put all that information in, but you're almost taking all that work out of it by giving them those emails to utilize. And even like, you haven't what to think about putting in, like, I don't have your water.
But you're so right, because if you think about it, one team cycle bonus would pay for your email automation software. And there's some that are actually free that you can even start with. So yeah. So many amazing options for you guys that you're able to do this to build your business in a way that's smart. Because I used to get so frustrated. I would get, and you guys can probably relate, I would get the same questions from new clients all the time, you're doing a healthy eating week, a crockpot week, whatever it is. You're getting the same questions over and over and over again. New coaches starting. It is amazing if you can just say, because they don't look in the back office or they don't Google or look at anything like that. They go to you, right? They go to you because they know, like, and trust you. But what if you could just automatically send them an email that had them walking through the coach onboarding process, a brand new challenger, what to expect, share some of your favorite Shakeology recipes. Like, you could even do this for a challenge group. Like you wouldn't even have to run a group. That's what I was doing at one point, is I had an email sequence set up for all of my brand new challengers. And
they feel like you're following up with them, because in a way you give them the opportunity to respond to you, but it's not so generic, because the emails are addressed like, hey, Nicole, we're a week in. I just wanted to check on you. Are you feeling sore? Are you still pressing play? Like, I just wanted to give you that individual check-in. Obviously that's probably not exactly what it would say, but basic concept. And they're like, oh my God, Nicole just totally checked on me, or Amie just totally checked on me. And it makes such a difference, whether that, like, not every single person's going to respond and not every single person's going to open the email, but at least they see that it comes from you, and, that you put forth the effort and that you care.
Exactly. Because you guys care. You're coaches, and doing this, you're not selling another product just to sell something, right? You're not selling a lipstick or nail polish or whatever it is just for the sake of it. You have a deep reason why. Oh, he looks so cute. A deep why as to the mission that you're on, to change lives, right? It's not just a matter of selling something to make money, but there's this balance that you can't be working all the time, because you will end up getting burnt out. You'll get resentful. You will end up like Amie and I and need to look for something different. Being totally transparent, if I would have known now or then what I know now, it would be totally different. I would have had these systems and structures and processes. I implemented some at the very end of my Beachbody career, but if I would have known some of this day one, totally different. I would have rank advanced a lot faster. I mean, I was pretty quick, but the income would have followed faster, and I would have had balance. One of the things Amie and I talked about personally is my relationship with my husband, that he got so bitter and resentful and hated that I was on my phone all the time. We'd be sitting and watching TV, and I was like responding to messages or checking in my group and doing stuff. So like Amie was saying, if you could automatically just have it set up that every week you send an email to all of your clients or all of your current challengers or all of your new coaches, then it's totally manageable. And then they respond to you if they need your help or want your help or need support. And sure, yes, we all say, just reach out, but people don't. They don't.
And not until it's too late and you're reaching out to them like, I saw you were canceling your account. What's going on? Oh, something came up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing worth mentioning too, because maybe not everybody is aware of how automation works, is you can segregate, like, this person is a paid client. This person is a free clean week client or prospect even. And this person is a coach, and you can funnel them into the automations with like the click of a mouse. It'll take you literally like a second to do that, which is so super easy. So, granted, setting up the automation, Nicole's going to walk you guys through how to do all that. And it'll probably take you a few hours, but it's a few hours once. It's like one and done. And that's it.
And there's nothing that you guys have to do this all right away either. Right. Like, pick what is your biggest pain point. Like, is it getting your new coaches started right? Is it transitioning your free contacts and potential leads into paid? I mean, how many people you hit Success Club, right? You get free leads. How many of you are actually reaching out to those people? I know I sucked at it.
I did it.
Horrible. That's good. That's good. I was horrible. But like, what you could do is you could go into your back office. You could export all of those free lead contacts, put them into your email marketing, and then essentially funnel them through saying, hey, I'm your coach. This is what I do. I have this free community on Facebook, or I do this, or, whatever it is that you want to reach out and support them with. Here's a meal plan. Here's
a pain in the ass.
Oh, it totally is. It totally is. But like, you could have this list for your leads coming through. And I'm kind of leading you into something that Amie and I decided. I did a poll last night, and you guys were talking about a couple of different options on an added bonus that we wanted to include. And some of you guys wanted my specific funnels. What I think would serve you better is having a list and kind of the emails mapped out of the 5 must-have funnels. So I know I kind of teased the options, but Amie and I talked about it. And I think the best fit would be for you guys to get those. So something for leads, something for, all of our suggested automations that I would get set up. But don't let that overwhelm you. Don't think, oh my gosh, I have to do all this work. I have to do it immediately. I don't have time to do this. I work full time. I have kids. I'm trying to run my business. I have all of these things. Don't let the time be what holds you back, because you can do it in bite-sized pieces. Like
Yes.
we don't roll out automation stuff for every single thing that we could possibly do all at one time.
One task at a time, even in our businesses now.
Exactly. So you figure out what's most important. That's where you're going to put your time and effort, and you go from there. But guys, it's endless what you could possibly do. Endless, truly. And it's all personalized. Like, people respond to my message or my emails when they go out being like, oh, thanks so much, Nicole. I can't actually do this, but when I'm sharing a program, a service, an offering, because they feel like it's literally me sitting at my computer and sending them a personal message. And you could put your colors and your branding and different images in so that it's truly a reflection of you, your business. You can do links, videos, all sorts of stuff. So I'll give you guys really interesting ways that you can spice up what you're sending out to your list as well, so that you can open it, some tips on the copy to use. All of those things we'll talk about, because it's one thing to know what automation is. It's another thing to actually implement it so that it works. And that's what we want for you guys. That's why we're doing this workshop, because let's face it, you guys could just Google and watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos and spend hours and hours and hours getting all of the information. Okay, you totally could. And if that's the approach you want to use, then by all means, go for it. But what we wanted to do for you guys specifically is bundle everything together in one place, so you could come get all of your questions answered, understand what automation is, what you actually need and what you don't need to waste your money on, what's the smart places to spend your time and the effort, what's going to give you the best return on your investment for your time and your money, what we would do if we were in your shoes, or some of the stuff that we did when we were in your shoes. Plus you get Amie and I too, so you get her perspective as well as mine. And then the things that we're doing in our business right now that are being successful, and the things that we help our clients with. So that's everything that you guys are getting. So you can decide to watch YouTube videos and do it the free way, because I did that too. I watched so many videos on Google Streak, and some of those babies I remember were like 40, 50 minutes. But then it wasn't just one video. It would be that one, and then I would learn the next step, and then I'd have to figure out how to integrate it all. You guys are going to get this all in one place. So I think it's a no-brainer. I truly feel like it's a no-brainer for you guys. And I wish someone told me this stuff.
Yeah, no, legit. And I think that even like a few years ago from when I was doing it, even just because I was only just doing the coach onboarding through automation, I think it's even evolved the ease of it from then. I did switch platforms because the one that I used was not overly intuitive. And I feel like ours, the one that we're going to be talking to them about, is really intuitive. It's like drag and drop type of thing. And so, I mean, very, very straightforward. So I feel like that makes things a whole lot easier too. And even just like laying out, like I talked about in the challenge that I did a couple weeks ago, which I'll be taking those videos down soon. So if you guys haven't watched them, be sure you do, because they'll be coming down and repurposed later. But I talked about even, something that we can even talk about is there's a certain way, a certain method to make sure that your emails don't get plopped into somebody's spam folder, just by, if you put, like, for example, if you put happy birthday, exclamation, exclamation, and then there's like a whole long line of them, just having more than one exclamation point or punctuation is likely to get that dropped into somebody's spam folder instead of into that first, preferred folder in your Gmail. So, I mean, there's, all kinds of little tips and tricks just for readability, open rates, all that kind of stuff that we're going to share with you guys.
No, that's a good point. I was actually reading something this morning, and it said that if you use a personal domain email address versus a Gmail, you're not as likely to get into the primary inbox as well. So, like, amazing tips and ideas to help you guys, because you can have incredible content and material and things that you know people need and what they want. But if you're not getting in front of them, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Right.
And I mean, it's the same as like if you post on your profile, you're trying to drive traffic so people see it, or on a business page, you want people to see it. It's the exact same with getting your emails out there. Like if you're posting on your profile or on Instagram or whatever, you want a beautiful image, you want good copy, you want lots of emojis so it's bright and colorful, like all of that stuff that Amie talks to you as far as branding. You also want a good message, and then you want a call to action in it, right? To direct them somewhere so that they take action, to reach out to you, to sign up, to join your group, you know, whatever it is that you want them to do. The same goes in your email marketing too. And email marketing, I was reading something else. My husband's gone and my kids are gone. So I had lots of time just to read and lounge around. And my dog is actually being quiet. So it was, she's eating something. This might not be good. But I'm always looking to see like the latest and greatest on social media and how you can improve what it is you're doing. And so that's the kind of stuff that I'll be coming and sharing with you guys, and same with Amie as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I forgot now. Never.
Okay.
Oh, I was just going to say, you know, like if you think about, you know, one thing that you mentioned in one of your videos the other day is stepping into that next level of coach. Like instead of waiting until you're a diamond to implement this stuff, or a 2-star diamond, you know, you hear that act as if. This is not necessarily acting as if. This is like automating your business is like helping you get there without pulling all your hair out, getting a divorce, and neglecting your kids type of things, or feeling like you've neglected your kids, right? And you think
so
about,
you can
like,
actually get some sleep at night.
So you
like I know I have
play.
coaches. Yeah, so you can enjoy your life, because so often this is why I've decided to really go down this whole automation route, because I'm tired of wonderful, intelligent, talented women and coaches and influencers getting stuck, one, behind the technology, and two, not getting their message out there to make the impact and the income that they deserve. Okay.
Right.
And I have coaches I have lots of friends who are still coaches in the business, and many who've taken a step back as well because of the hustle and the grinding and just feeling like they had to always be working. One girl comes specifically to mind, and I love and adore her. But she would go to bed every night at like midnight, 1 a.m., and then wake up the next morning to crush a workout at like 5 a.m. I'm like, no wonder she's not a coach anymore, or actively coaching as much, because she was putting so much into her business. And like, guys, I was the same way. I'm sure Amie was. Like, I had no balance whatsoever. That's why I'm so passionate about this topic and about helping you guys. And that's why we decided to do it. Seriously, for $97. This will save your marriage, grow your business, have you not lose clients, help you
get more SC.
Have you rank advance faster, hit SC, but not just SC. You'll also have additional income coming in, because you can upsell people from a challenge pack into coaching or into the performance line. Like, there's all sorts of ways that you can continue to get things in front of your clients. Expansion packs, I know they're coming out with those like crazy now with BOD. But you know what used to drive me crazy, Amie, is that I would have friends and people I'd talked to like months previously, and then all of a sudden I see them working out and they signed up as a coach with someone else. Did you have that happen?
A couple times.
Yeah. And wasn't it like a knife through your heart?
Yeah.
And you saw the talent and the potential in that person. And shame on me because I didn't follow up with them. But it just was so hard. So what if you could, every month when you're having a coach sneak peek, you can send out an email to anybody who's been interested in coaching or that you've talked to in the past. You can just put a little tag on them, and then they go on a list, and then you can send it to them.
Yeah.
Like magical, 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 magical. Instead of I have other girlfriends who had like piles of notebooks and had like little stars by one name if they were interested in this, and a little happy face or color coding. And guys, like, some people graduated from that to Google Streak. And not to knock Google Streak, but come on, like, who actually goes through and updates all of that? Like, insanity, absolutely insane what you would do. And you try and like do all the funnels so you don't lose your people. But I don't know, my Google Streak never got updated nearly as much as it should have. Whereas if you had people just naturally go through an automation, they would be taking action. You could do if thens and set it up that if they decided to sign up, then great. If they didn't, then you kind of funnel them here, add them to a master customer list, like all these smart things that you guys can do instead of the paper and pencil, instead of using primitive technology. It can be simple and it can be easy. Google Streak, free, yes. Email automation also can be free, or the $9 a month for the other one we talked about. So, yeah.
And one thing too, I think that's worth a mention is, if we look at some of the elite coaches like Melanie Mitchell, Scotty Hobbs, I'm sure like Anita Myron and all those, like, they're working smarter because they have these types of automations in place. Like they, we look up to them when we sign up and we're like, how do they keep it together? That's one thing people ask me all the time, like, Amie, how do you do it all? Like, how do you keep your shit together? Like, like, how do you balance being a business owner? Because I have 2 businesses, and a mom, and, doing all the things. Like, well, first of all, I let my kids take naps with me while I'm working with you guys. But one of the big things is automation. If I had to go in and manually enter every email address, even if I was just going to send like a blast email to everybody, like, hey, be sure you hop on in 10 minutes. I'm going live with Nicole. If I had to manually enter every single person or even just click them from a list, oh my God, like I wouldn't do it.
It wouldn't happen.
No, it wouldn't. It really wouldn't.
Well, and if you are like Amie, she can work when the kids are at a babysitter and she can get a bunch of emails pre-scheduled, post pre-scheduled, all of that when you have that chunk of time. Or if you're like me, you work a 9 to 5, you can use time on your weekend or in the evenings where you can get a lot of work done. And then it's kind of like you're present, but you're not present, if that makes sense. Just like pre-scheduling a post, you can do that with emails as well. Same as you can on your business page. And it just makes it so much easier.
Oh, Gina wants to know which programs we'll be teaching.
So my preferred platforms for email collection and building sales pages, which you guys don't really have to do the sales pages piece as Beachbody coaches, you would just direct them to the link, would be Lead Pages or ClickFunnels. Those are my 2 preferred. And then as far as email automation, we will talk about MailChimp and we'll talk about ActiveCampaign. Those, one's free, one is my preferred. ActiveCampaign is just so much more advanced. So those would be the platforms that I'd recommend. I started with Lead Pages when I was first a coach for email collection. Essentially, and I know you guys have done this. Anybody who's been online has done this. You see an ad come up and someone's like, oh, sign up for this webinar, sign up for this ebook, sign up for whatever. That would be a landing page where you land and you put your email address in and then you automatically get the freebie. So what I did when I was first starting my business and what I've suggested for Beachbody coaches, if you're doing a free challenge, you can have them opt in. They automatically get an email that says, hey, this is the group that I'm doing in. This is the meal plan. This is all of the stuff that they need. And then it's done. Kit. Yeah, like a welcome kit. And instead of you guys having to go in and email them from the back office, remembering who you've done and who you haven't, because I guarantee I've missed people in the past, adding people to the group, it puts the onus on them that they join the group. It's seamless. And then you can even upsell them. So let's say you were doing Clean Week for a free challenge. So they sign up, they create their free account, you show them how they can access the videos, where you're going to be hosting the challenge, all that good stuff. You can then upsell them to a Shakeology sampler, right? And then they try Shakeology, you give them some of your favorite recipes, how the tips and tricks for making your shake, all those benefits, pull some videos from the back office, all that great stuff. And then you can automate them through. And then from there, the follow-up sequence after they have done Clean Week, what the results were, the next steps, your next challenge group, what program you think would be the right fit for them. You can do that all automatically instead of via personal message or personal email. It's just kind of done. And then it's never set in stone either. Like if you find that you kind of missed a step, you can go back in and you can just input a new email into the sequence, or you can update and add things in if you're like, well, people weren't actually responding to this, so I'm going to change the text or change the subject line or whatever it is in the email that you need. So I hope that answered the question as far as kind of the what and a little bit of the how I would do it as well. Any other questions, Amie?
I'm not seeing any other ones so far. Hold on, let me refresh.
Okay.
You know how Facebook can be.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Nothing yet.
So yeah, I guess when we think about automation and why we need it, I think we've talked about these, but really, so you don't lose clients, you don't lose customers, you're not always working, because that's no fun. Even if you really love what you do, because Amie and I both do, but we have families, we have lives, right? We have kids that get sick and you have to take time with them, or you want to go on vacation.
I think that's probably the number one reason why I think so many people have chosen to go down this opportunity, is because they want more of that time with their families. They want more of that time freedom, or freedom of time, or whatever. And then they get into it and they're like, oh my God, I'm spending so much time private messaging people, inviting people, doing all these things, that now I have even less time. But this, like I said, it's like your first virtual assistant. You spend that time, maybe an hour. You could probably bust out a sequence maybe in an hour, 2 hours, once a week. And then you'd have, in 10 weeks, you'd have 10 different sequences set up. You know what I mean? And then you don't ever have to do anything with them except for the occasional tweak or add or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you just have one that's like gold and it just is magic and you just keep funneling people through that one, instead of spending hours and hours and hours every single day. And I'm not saying don't utilize private messenger, because I still utilize private messenger. With my private clients, with my mastermind clients, with people who reach out to me from time to time and just ask me a simple question. They'll ask me like, Amie, what were you talking about? Like, what is this thing that comes in the branding bundle or whatever? And I'm happy to answer that, or I had a couple people do it via email, questions like that before. But the point is it's like, yes, you put the hour or so in up front, and that hour pays you back over and over and over and over. So it's even better than like an actual VA. And in that, not to say that there's anything wrong with VA, because I love my VA, but it's like one and done,
Well, you don't want to pay your VA to answer the same questions over and over and over again either. So I look at automation as, what are the most common questions that I get asked in my business, or what do I want to communicate on a frequent basis? That is where you put your automation. So how do I change my Shakeology flavor? How do I delay my shipment? How do I access BOD? Where are all of the articles, or, that kind of stuff that you get asked over and over and over. New coaches. I mean, gosh, I was the worst new coach ever. So no judgment. But I would ask all the questions like, what's my coach ID again? Like,
where do I find it?
Yeah. Where is this in the back office? How do I do this? How do I check this? I was a very keen coach, but I also, my poor sponsor coach, luckily she still loves me, but so I'm sure you guys have that same pain. I had the same pain when I onboarded as well. So think about what questions you tend to get over and over again. And that's probably what you want to put into an automation, so that you're working smarter and not harder, and your business can literally work like it did for me last night while I was sleeping. One of you guys signed up for the program and I was like, oh, perfect. She's in for next weekend.
Yes. And I think too, like, if you were to listen in on like one of the Monday calls that Beachbody hosts, or some of the, diamonds and star diamonds and whatever, a lot of them will tell you they have this stuff implemented. And that's where we get I think that's where we get kind of set back, like, oh, they're doing all this stuff. They're earning money in their sleep. And then you jump in and you're a brand new coach. You're not even Emerald yet. And you're like, oh my God, I'm not even sleeping because I've become a slave to this business. but this is that, like, just that tiny little shift that can change that for you, is going, is automating. And it's, let me just tell you, I had a love-hate relationship with ClickFunnels. Like, I quit ClickFunnels for like 6 months because I was like, oh my God, I can't understand this. And what I did is I just really talked myself into a state of overwhelm because I didn't have like the actual training to do it, right? So eventually I just outsourced and I got somebody to help me set it all up because I was like, oh geez, like, but I paid a fortune for that. A fortune. I'm talking about, like, I bought a funnel and somebody create me a funnel. It was over $1,000. Over $1,000. And that still didn't, let me just be clear. That didn't solve all my problems because I still didn't know what to do. So I had to make some other types of investments, and I had to get in there and figure it out. And now I'm like, oh, that was so easy. If someone had just told me this one thing, I could have been like way better off. But I didn't have that. I was kind of like bouncing between, trainings from one coach and trainings from ClickFunnels and trainings over here and over there and all over the place, instead of just having it in one spot where I could ask the questions and be done with it, type of thing. That's kind of like when Nicole and I were talking about this, I'm like, I wish I had just had everything in, like, one-stop shopping. I'm like a one-stop shopper. Like, I just wish I had all the answers for that one thing in one location. And she's like, oh yeah, we can just take the time and answer all those questions as they come up in the workshop. And I was like, oh, genius. Where were you 8-10 months ago?
I was still learning too. But that's the thing, guys. Like, it's not
overly hard, complicated to learn.
Uh-oh. I think we had an internet.
Oh,
there you are.
Okay. I'm like, you're gone. Like, it was overwhelming to me at first. And that's why I literally want to take you guys back to the very beginning on all of the pieces, what you need, what you don't need, because I invested, like Amie, on things that were really smart and other things that weren't. I have a fancy website that I don't think I've made a dime off of. I've done photo shoots, which have served me well, which that was a good investment. Some platforms that weren't really good that I could have done a little bit differently. So literally, we're going to share the gold with you guys, like all of the mistakes, all the things that we wish we knew then, and give you like the meat and potatoes of what you actually need to run your business so that you're successful and it's smart and it's all in one place. The turnkey approach is what I love. And we're bundling this all together with everything we wish someone would have told us, because maybe they're talking automation now, and I haven't been on a national wake-up call for probably over a year now, but automation was never talked about when I was a Beachbody coach really actively in the business. It was never on a single national wake-up call. It was never in one of my upline trainings. I went to Summit every single year. I went to all the Super Saturdays. I went to all the diamond dinners. I was really engaged and connected in my team page and my upline page. I was one of Barbie Decker's or Barbie Ella. Sorry, we have a new puppy and she likes to chew stuff.
Well, they talk a lot about follow-up and follow-up and follow-up.
Yeah, which is great.
Is important, but you can follow up in the automation.
Yeah. So everyone was talking about what you needed to do, the vital behaviors and all of that stuff. And let me tell you guys, I'm the kind of person, I think Amie is too, like, tell me what to do. I will do it. That's why I rank advanced to diamond so quickly. That's why I built a team. Like, Beachbody is incredible. And a lot of MLMs, if you're not with Beachbody, it's the only one I've been with, so I can only speak to that directly. They are amazing and incredible in their training. All of the resources, corporate is wonderful with that. But they're missing how to drop the hustle. That's the piece that's always been missing. Like, yeah, sure, do your invites, odds are you reach out to 100 people, 3 are going to say yes. That gives you your Success Club points for the month. If you really want to run and grow your business, well, then obviously you need Success Club 10 or 20 or higher. And I had to build a team and how to onboard and do coach open houses. And like, there's amazing content and they teach you all of the pieces that you know to be successful. But what they miss is, how does a mom who's at home with her 2 kids not be on her phone every single day, all day long, while she's putting on show after show after show for her kids, because she just has to check into this group. She just has to send this message. She just has to do this. So that's what's missing. And that's why I want you guys to start working smarter and be able to have that time with your family and unplug. Because if you're a coach who really wants to grow this business, you're going to be hustling. You're going to be grinding. You're going to be like that friend I talked about who goes to bed at midnight, wakes up at 5 a.m., pushes play on her workout, shows up on social media, does all of the things. I know if you're driven and that's what you want, that's what you're doing, because that's what I did. Right. But it gets to a point where you get burnt out and there's not enough hours in the day. And it's all fine and dandy to say, oh, I'll do it when I'm a diamond coach, when I'm a star diamond, when I'm making X amount of dollars. But I have friends who are top coaches within Canada, are doing amazing things. Ella, are doing amazing things in the business, impacting lots of people and changing lives. But it's even harder for them to implement all this stuff now that they're at that level, at that rank. Like, they are bringing people on to help do that for them, getting those systems and structures in place. If you make the investment now, Ella, I'll have to bring her on so you guys can see her. But if you start making that investment now, it'll grow your business over the long term. And I saw a couple of comments come through. Amie, do you want to just
those?
Ella, come.
So Gina says, the answer is yes, but if we have more than one business, would that be okay? I'm assuming we would just create a different list or something. Yes, exactly.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. And I mean, there's different things. I'm doing automation as a focus. I've also done mindset courses, time management. So I have different lists and different things and different people I market things to. So if you had 2 businesses or multiples of them, then you're totally fine. But that's a great question.
And then the other one,
it'll serve you twofold, because you'll be able to do it in both your businesses. But the approach and and the approach and strategy is going to be the exact same.
The other question was from Caitlin. She says, Beachbody believes more in the hands-on approach, i.e. messaging. So this might sound like a total asshole thing to say. I hate getting messages. I hate sending messages. Like, I don't hate getting messages, like if it's like a legitimate question or something, but I hate getting like, hi, thanks for taking my friend request. Do you want to buy my shit? No, absolutely not. And I think that was such an effective way, like back in like 2010, 11, 12. It was very, very effective. And a lot of coaches found a lot of success with that. But a lot of people hate that now. Mm-hmm. So that's okay. So even if you have like a post and you're like, this is a great post, this is like my before and after, if you want more information, drop an emoji. If they drop an emoji, that's completely different. That's completely different, because they're telling you, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to tell me what you did. I want you to tell me what this is about. But just like, so, and it's not just a Beachbody thing. It's like an every MLM thing that, just that cold private messaging, that invite, it turns a lot of people off. But if you have somebody who's actively engaged with you and interested, who's been part of your clean week or whatever, you can still give them that same personalized attention by sending them an automated email that is personalized to them. Like, hey, thank you so much, Nicole, for, taking the time to participate in the group. What was your favorite recipe? Here's another bonus recipe that my kids just loved and I tried out. I thought that you should have. That's going to go just as far as, because here's the thing. They can ghost you in a private message just as easily as they can ghost you by not opening your email. But a lot of times they'll open the email and just not respond. Whereas sometimes they won't even open the private message because they're like, shit, she'll see if I opened it. You know what I mean? So I feel like,
here's my thoughts on it. I don't like the friend request, buy my shit, spammy messages, and no judgment, because I did it too.
Oh, I did it.
And I was really bad because sometimes I'd forget to change the name, so they totally knew it was a copy and paste. Felt really bad about those ones. I don't think automation would necessarily replace, if you're doing the Hey Girl messages, that's totally fine. Or if people, like you said, you do an amazing transformation photo. If you want more info, drop an emoji. That's totally different. I see automation for you guys as sort of that continual support piece. So if someone joins a challenge, someone's interested in a coaching opportunity, someone's interested in buying Shakeology, you funnel them through and support them like that, which replaces those Hey Girl messages. And then you can send out your 3 messages, and you don't have to worry about the follow-ups. You don't have to worry about the upsells, or if any of those other pieces. It's more the support after they've created a free account, after they've done a challenge with you, after they've gotten a meal plan, a Spotify playlist, whatever kind of freebie stuff you want to put out there and share with them.
More like a follow-up approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and, they always say the fortune's in the follow-up type of thing. And, not everybody. So Gina here, she mentions, it seems like people aren't checking emails much these days. It also seems like people know it's an automated email, even though it's just addressed to their name.
Yeah, that's true. But there's emails that I get that I know are automated that if there's good content, I'm going to open that up.
Yeah, it depends who it's from and if you want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah. So you can choose to believe that. So Amie and I are kind of the same philosophy here. You can believe that you send out lists to your emails to your list that love to hear from you. They open everything that you want. You provide them with amazing value. Then you're going to get that interaction engagement. Or you can just be spammy and salesy. But that's the same as a post on your personal page. You can put a post up there, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. And no one's going to want to do that. But if you dig deep and you share your story, why this changed your life, what the difference is, then you're going to get that engagement, right? So I don't think that people are not opening up email. I actually read something the other day that email marketing is still the #1 marketing technique. So.
Yeah. Caitlin says, the market is overrun with coaches of different MLMs. I shudder at being one of those people. I'm assuming you're talking about the Hey Girl type of spammers. And yeah, that's true. There's a ton of them out there. And like I said, I feel like that was such a really unique and effective marketing method, back in like 2012-ish when it first came out, because, it was a new tool. It was new to Facebook. I don't remember when Messenger actually came out, but it was right around that time. So, people monetized that. And I think it's great. Now they have the bots and different stuff. And, a coach that Nicole and I both worked with, she had a 6-figure launch via Messenger, so it's still a useful tool, but her 6-figure launch was incoming traffic to her. And that's where she answered the questions and provided the information for the course. She didn't just reach out to Nicole and I hey, you want to buy my program? Send me $5,000. It wasn't like that at all. It was just another tool. So it is a useful tool, and I'm not saying get rid of Messenger by any means. But I feel like this is a really good follow-up technique. A lot of you guys have responded to my emails, when I've sent out information. I think I probably get responses, I don't know, I want to say probably more often than not, because I like to ask you guys questions. And I think most of you guys know, I legitimately care. I legitimately want your feedback. You guys did a bunch of workbooks for me. I read those workbooks and I think they're fantastic. I think they're amazing. So I had to read them in order to make sure that the questions got answered, to even, give you guys, the contest winner. So people do, I think, respond to emails if they're engaged with or interested in who's sending the email.
And if it's genuine,
mm-hmm.
right? If you just sent an email saying, oh, buy this, or I'm doing this, or you made it all about you, they're not going to be engaged. They're not going to open it up. But if you're coming out with an email that is oh, I have this meal plan for you, this recipe for you, this new article that is not even related to what you're selling, but you think would really benefit them, then people are going to open that stuff up.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's all value.
Yeah, I agree. Any more questions anybody has? You guys are asking some really great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My dogs are barking now.
Oh, yeah? I can't hear them, no.
They're actually outside, but
Oh, it's pouring rain here today. It's miserable.
we could use a little rain.
I'll send it gladly your way.
We'll take it. All right. I don't see anything else coming in.
Okay.
For just a second, because I know there's like Facebook.
There's always that last minute question that we don't want to miss.
But yeah, I mean, automation's been such a blessing for me. Even when I first came into this community, I had an automation in place, and that automation made me $1,000. So, I mean, it can be a real money-making tool.
Totally. Well, it's amazing how easy it is to set up and to implement and to do. And we just make it into this big, scary beast. Like I have women.
Seems so scary until you get in there and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. It seems like a lot. Has this very high overwhelm factor, I would say. Like you could just thinking about like all the tech and all the automation, all the things, you think like, oh my God, I have to set up all these moving parts. Mm-hmm. That's so like, I remember thinking like, oh my God, like I could never do this. It's actually so easy. Like the hardest part is putting the words together in an email. That's the hardest part is what do I want to say?
Well, and I guarantee they already have that stuff done because you're probably doing it already. So it'll be pulling from a couple of different places. Put it in. If you want to start getting a head start on this, put your stuff into a Google Doc, then you can just pull it. And then you can even share your stuff with your team or your biz besties, whoever it is that you want to help and support, and team up. And then you can share stuff so that you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. Like you can get so smart and strategic with how you want to do this so that it's simple and easy versus being overwhelming. And there's people, like Amie said, there's VAs that you can hire. There's people like me. I do some turnkey stuff for some of my clients. If you just want to say, this is everything, just make it work for me. Like you can find people that do that kind of stuff because sometimes it is easier just to get someone to do it. But I really like the whole idea of empowering you to know what the pieces are, what you actually need, what's smart to invest in, and know how it all kind of structurally flows and works together rather than just being like, here, do it. You'll be able to make an educated decision. You'll know what's converting well, what's working well, what's not, where you're losing people, what's working for open rates, all that kind of stuff.
Agree. Absolutely. I like that.
Awesome. Well, you guys have the link. And if you have any other questions, I'll be in the group here today and tomorrow. When are we closing doors, Amie? Have we decided?
Well, since the workshop is on Saturday, it has to close probably by Friday.
Friday night? Yeah. Let's say Friday at midnight. Then it gives me some time to make sure everybody gets everything and they have time to do the pre-work as well, because I think that'll be really beneficial.
And also remember that the price goes up tomorrow at midnight by double.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. Back to its normal pricing.
The regular price, yeah. So you guys got the exclusive sale just because you're here with Amie hanging out. And I had a couple of people ask if they could share the link. Yes, by all means, go ahead, share the link with whoever you think would benefit from the workshop. The more, the merrier. I think we're going to max out at what, 100?
The absolute max is 100, and that includes two of us, so 98.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Do you show how to do tripwires, and do you show how to hook up a Facebook ad?
I'm not going to dig into Facebook ads specifically. It's really all you need is the link to put into the Facebook ad, whether it's a Facebook ad or a live video or anything like that. If you want to boost something, there's people who specialize in the ads manager. If you want to work with someone like that, reach out to that individual specifically. I have a girl. Let me talk to her and see if she'd be willing to do.
We have the same girl, and Gina's actually in the society. So Gina, in October, I'm going to put up a thread, and we've got our Facebook ads girl in there. she's agreed to once a month starting in October. If we get a list of questions for her, she'll go in and create a video answering those questions. So that's for society members.
Oh, awesome. She's fantastic. She does step-by-step videos for me, and it's wonderful. So that's a really good. If you guys aren't in Amie Society, you really should be. It's incredible, the value and content with the experts that she has come in for you guys. I mean, the cost of it just to understand Facebook ads would more than cover. So that's a really good deal. Damn.
You just had a little, I don't know.
As far as tripwires,
we have an automation training in there in the society, but it's for Infusionsoft, which I don't think serves most people in Beachbody. So
it's this. What's the investment with Infusionsoft? It's a lot more, right?
It's $97 a month for the bare minimum.
Okay.
So
yeah. And it's very complicated to navigate and set up and all that stuff.
It's much less intuitive than Active Campaign.
Okay, yes.
But I do know some of my clients use it and require it. So
okay. So depending on what your needs are, but for like a basic MLM, just starting off, if you're just getting into automation, we'll walk you guys through. But to answer about the tripwire, yes, you guys will have the opportunity. You'll see the actual pre-work. When you register, you'll get a link for the Zoom call that we're going to be doing, as well as the workbook. And in the workbook, I talk about what you can do as a lead magnet, so a freebie. And then a tripwire is just a low price info offer. So it can be like a self-study course or like a small upsell. So I'm not sure who asked the question, but depending on what your business is, we can talk in the training call with specifically what your business is, what you could do as a freebie and a tripwire. You guys can pick my brain during that workshop, because I know that's the hardest piece, right? Is figuring out what you want to offer, kind of figuring out what the price point should be and how you want to market it. We can dig into all of that good stuff, as well as kind of how you would go to integrate the tech setup as well. You guys will literally be covered with everything you need. And like I said, these courses normally are like thousands of dollars.
Yes. Well, trust me, I've paid it. If I'd had this option to do it for $97, like now I'm like, where was Nicole? Where's she been my whole life? You know, like, so yeah. Well, and also too, you know, having invested so greatly, both of us, you know, it's kind of, we put that into perspective, like, you know, not a lot of people who are new in business are willing to or able to invest $1,200 or $1,500 or whatever. What if we can't make the training call? It'll be recorded. So you'll always still have access to it. And if you have a couple specific questions, you can just send them over in advance. It's likely that Nicole's going to touch on them anyways, but we'll just make sure that we do.
Yeah, I remember when I was first starting my business, the idea of investing, the first thing I bought, no word of a lie, you guys, was Jesse Regan's social team builder program. And it was all about how to build your like page. And I think it was on special and I paid $400 for it. This is the first thing I bought. A friend of mine recommended it. And I've gone through and done modules 1 and 2 a bajillion times, but never actually made it through the entire course. It was a waste of money. And now I'm not saying that that's going to happen, because you guys are going to be in this workshop. It's 2 hours. It's easy to consume, whereas that was almost just overwhelming. And my heart really wasn't in building my like page at that point in time, my business page. I was running my business on my profile. So I remember where I was going with this is I remember being so stressed and worried about spending money. And then the next time I went to invest in my business, being like, well, I didn't do what I was supposed to the last time. So, and I was kind of like getting caught in that story. So I had to do that training before I do anything else. But I made the decision that I did need to invest in my business. And it started with, you know, like $100 here, $50 there, $300-$400 there. And every single time I made the conscious decision that I was going to show up, I was going to do the work, and I received that return on my investment for my time and knowing and Ella and actually being able to implement what I was taught. So the Jesse Regan training that I paid for, and maybe some of you guys have done it. I've heard amazing things about it. If I ever finish the course, I can weigh in on it. But it taught me a really good lesson to make the decision, do the things, but you always have lifetime access to go back and re-listen and to reapply it into your business. I kind of went on to a ramble there, but what I'm trying to say is I get how hard it is to make the decision to invest in yourself, but it's also really hard just to hope and wish that it just magically all happens and comes together either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, nope, I've done that too. I've got like a course graveyard. Like I bought like Shalene Johnston's Instagram course. I bought somebody else's Pinterest course. I don't do Instagram very well, and I don't do anything on Pinterest except like find my own stuff. So I get that. I totally get that. But I do know that they are there for me one day, which will probably be outdated by the time I get around to wanting to grow those platforms. But no, I get that.
Platforms are changing. Ella. Yeah. Platforms are changing. Like Facebook is changing. Facebook ads. My girl, our girl, was doing a training for me, and she's like, "Oh, it's changed again." Mm-hmm. But it tends not to shift because what we're teaching you guys is a strategy, not specifically a platform. Your strategy will be the same whether you go through and you listen to the workshop now, or you listen again in a month, or in Ella.
Someone's laughing at my course graveyard.
I say that I have a freebie graveyard.
I have one of those too.
For when I opt into things. So yeah, low price courses, free things, all sorts of. Ella, come. Ella, come. Yes. Yeah, you're so tough.
Gotta love puppies.
Yeah, she's 13 weeks now and just a ball of energy. So, and I can't get her outside for a walk because it's literally pouring rain. So it'll be ball in the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, ladies. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys hopping in there and chatting with you guys some more on Saturday. Thank you, Nicole, for answering questions that had been coming in. And again, if you guys are catching this on the replay, just type your questions in. But yeah, definitely want to make sure that you guys had all the answers you needed to make a decision one way or the other. For the price.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of making an informed decision. Like, no sweat off our back. If you guys decide to not join us, that's totally fine. But it would be silly not to.
Yeah.
And I promise my puppy will not be there. So we won't have barking in the background. Ella.
I can't promise that this guy won't be there.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Ella. Seeing everybody next Saturday. And if there's questions, just pop them in the group. I'll be checking in this week. All right. Close doors on Friday night, but the discount will be tomorrow night.
Yes. All right, everybody. Talk to you guys soon. See you in there.
Bye.